When you take a look at this, you may think to yourself, this has got to be from a movie. But that is far from the case. Our planet is actually home to many unique and jaw-dropping places just like this. Trust us, this isn't Photoshop. The Sea of Stars. Shining brightly in the reefs of the Maldives is the breathtaking phenomenon known as the Sea of Stars. While this looks like an electric current flowing through the sea, the bright blue lights actually come from a form of bioluminescent plankton. But unlike the plankton we're all familiar with, this breed of plankton has the unique ability to generate light. While these plankton are the star of the show when it comes to this beautiful sight, they aren't always around, making this one of nature's rarest events. Many of the locals in the area say it could literally happen at any time. However, it's more likely to see the light show during the summertime. And when it arrives, it's quite the sight to see. Rainbow Mountain. Ever wanted to go over the rainbow? You just may get the chance. Rainbow Mountain, or also called Vinicunca, is a mountain that was discovered 4 years ago in Cusco, Peru. 4 years, you say? How in the world does a colorful mountain such as this go unnoticed for such a long time? Well, the mountain actually used to be a space that was completely covered in snow. As weather change happened, eventually the snow melted away, revealing the colorful structure underneath. Geologists say the rocks being covered with snow, along with constant weather changes across prolonged periods of time, cause the sediment of the material in the mountain, which gives the mountain its awesome look. The mountain holds 7 colors, which gives the mountain its third name, Montaña de Siete Colores. Ever since it was discovered back in 2015, it has been growing in popularity immensely, and has a large amount of viewers each and every day. Although this is quite the beauty, tourists are always given a heads up before heading out. The climate, which is one of the very reasons the Painted Mountain got its look, is still in full effect, and can easily ruin the experience. Therefore, visitors are told to bring multiple wears of clothing with them before beginning their 62-mile commute to this mountain of beauty. Lake Hillier. Neighboring the Pacific Ocean is a lake in Australia that will easily catch your attention. We know all water to be blue, but Lake Hillier's water is as pink as bubblegum. The lake was discovered around the year 1802 by navigator Matthew Flinders. Once he found it, he took samples with him and was amazed that the water remained pink even when placed in a glass. So what's so different about this unique lake that gives it its bright pink color? Well, scientists still haven't been able to fully understand what's going down, but most suspect that it has something to do with the presence of pigmented bacteria in the ocean and the salts in the ocean. A few other theories were mentioned, such as a chemical reaction between the sodium and the salt, but they were not able to come to a clear conclusion. Researchers also say that if you were to swim in the ocean, it would be harmless. However, if you were planning on visiting, unfortunately, the swimming experience is off limits to visitors. While Lake Hillier makes a huge difference when it comes to normal waters, the lake is relatively small, at an approximate 600 meters in length and 250 meters in width. The Grand Prismatic Spring. Easily living up to its name is a large color hot spring, which resides in Yellowstone Park, a natural park in Wyoming, USA. This rainbow ring of colors was discovered back in the 1800s, and ever since has been deemed one of the largest hot springs in the world. When looking at the waters, you'll see they are extremely clear and bright. While this amazes and attracts its visitors, you'd best keep your distance. The water is blazing hot and can reach temperatures up to 189 degrees Fahrenheit. And most living organisms, which would change the color of the water with time, can't really hang around that type of heat. However, it's a different story for the outer rings of the water. The outer rings of the water are normally measured to be around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And within these rings live many different pigmented organisms that actually prefer to live in hot areas, and the temperature of the outer rings is just barely cool enough for the bacteria to live on. Aside from the brilliant colors, the waters are also deep enough to fit a 10-story building in. It's got about the width and length of a football field and is surrounded by other attractions such as the Excelsior Geyser and the Turquoise and Opal Pool. Waitomo Caves. Located in New Zealand, one of the most scenic countries in the world, lies caves that look like they've come straight out of a Disney movie. Once entering one of these caves, you'll notice when looking at the ceiling of the caves that there are plenty of what look like floating fairies, or perhaps even a starry night above. Well, don't be fooled. They're actually a species called a glowworm, which, like our friend the phytoplankton we mentioned earlier, also use its bioluminescence to create light within itself. Although their reason for glowing is quite different from them. The glowworm's reason for emitting their light is actually to attract insects. And due to them being heavily populated within the cave has an amazing blue aura to it, which also attracts many tourists. Glowworms haven't only chosen to reside in Waitomo Caves. They can also be found in many other caves across the world and create a beautiful scenery.